Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. It's me, Antonio, back with another video for you guys really quick this evening. I wanted to speak with you guys really briefly about one of the things that's always been on my mind. Not necessarily a concept that we should overthink, but we definitely need to get in the habit of being mindful of what we think, what we say, and what we do. Especially the first two, what you think, what you're able to perceive and think up in your mind. That is the blueprints to that's one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum is doing. In the middle, you have saying, of course, communication and disseminating what you want to, what you want to talk about. So what I wanted to speak on really briefly was the Book of Names. If you're into the Bible, or if you're familiar with ancient spiritual texts and things like that, the Book of Names was definitely an important part of Genesis. In the Bible, Adam was tasked with the Book of Names. He was given dominion over the garden. He watched over the garden. So he was tasked with naming everything under the sun. Everything on the planet Adam named. Everything that we can think of or is written down in the Akashic records. Not necessarily written down, but these energies never leave us. They're always around us. Have your third eye open and have your crown open, you're able to visualize the Akashic records and realize that a lot of the energies that that we're experiencing today, we've experienced them before and we'll experience them in the future. But back to the Book of Names, so it is a superpower. There's definitely different strengths and weaknesses that we all possess. We want to focus on the strengths more when it comes to the Book of Names. We know folks are great at name calling, especially the name calling, labeling things, giving a title to things. There's a time and place for labels and titles and name calling, I guess. So, just be mindful. Again, the Book of Names, Adam was tasked with name everything. So he was given the right, the divine right by God to be a name caller. You just don't want to be calling people nappy head wenches and things like that. Be responsible with your name calling, with your titles, with your labels. So I spoke about these things before in the past, in regards to distractions, and things like that. But just be mindful. Again, too much of anything, just like too much water could be bad for you. You can drown yourself. Too much name calling or being in an egoic mind state and just being over emotional and just saying random things, calling people out of the name and different things like that. There's a reason why when it comes to exorcism or demonic entities or spiritual experiences and things like that, or when you watch movies on exorcism and things like that, you have to get the demon's name or you have to get the spirit's name. It was very hard. As a child doesn't really know the name of a devil. You didn't really learn what the devil's name was, Lucifer, until you got older, until you actually start paying attention. That's why it's hard to, really understand these things. Even people, you have your government name, the name that your mother and your father gave you. But when you get out in the street, when you get out in the real world, you name yourself something else. Your name's Sierra, but you name yourself Cece. Your name is Andre, but you name yourself Black or something like that. But, that's basically how it is. People don't want you to know their government name. People don't want you to know their real information, their true potential. They don't want you to know their power. So you have to realize it's not just you, or it's everybody has these things on their mind. More and more people are becoming aware of these different, spells or words and incantations and things like that. When you repeat things over and over, just like in music videos or in songs, when you hear rappers repeat things over and over and over and over, there's a reason why Future called himself the Wizard. There's a reason why one of his first songs was called Voila Magic. Voila Magic, Voila Magic. You just keep hearing him say Molly Percocet or whatever, mask off, mask off. It's repetition, it's mastery, it's incantation, it's spelling, it's words, your words are thoughts. So, be mindful of your labels, your titles, your name calling. Be responsible with your grimoire, with your book of names. Be responsible with your brain. Be responsible with your spiritual power and your spiritual pressure. Some people can't handle these types of things, but that's where mastering yourself comes from. You have to be able to communicate. You have to be able to explain yourself when need be. You need to be able to stand on these titles and labels when the time comes. But that's all. Be responsible. The book of names, hopefully I expressed or explained that concept as best I could in a way that you can understand it. But be familiar, get familiar. We're in the beginning of a great change that's going on, so it requires deep thought. Communication again is going to become more. It's going to be easier to communicate more and to network more throughout this year. Looking forward to seeing what the world has in store for us all. Again, the more we fight against these things that's going on in our world and with government and with everything, the people are going to fight the government, and the government are going to fight the people. No, one side is not going to give up. And it's the same with everything else. Just like in the animal kingdom, the animals, they fight back and forward. There's a pecking order. There's a food chain and things like that. There's a natural way that things happen. So we can't avoid wars, or we can't avoid coups and things like that. Is what are you going to do after the fact? How are you going to balance that energy out? And we can't sit in stagnation as a global unit. What if imagine the world stops spinning? So do your part as best way you can. There's going to be distractions. There's going to be moments in time where you doubt things, but remember that life is a karmic wheel. All of us have our chance or our spot at the top of the wheel. It's like a Ferris wheel. You keep going, whether it's going forward or backward. You have your spot. You're gonna get your spot at the top, and you're gonna have to keep going. It's a karmic wheel. You're gonna get to the side. You're gonna get to the lowest of the low. It's a karmic wheel. You're going to keep going, and you're going to get back to your spot. Be ready to take leadership or make the most important decisions you need on that karmic wheel as you get to different parts. You have to experience a lot of different things in life to be a well-rounded person at the end of the day. But that's it. That's all I wanted to talk to you guys about. You be safe, and I'll talk to you guys on the next one.